I've got another example, and this one turns out is going to be a little bit harder to work, and the answers are going to be just, well, they're going to be fractions, because I know ahead of time what I'm supposed to be getting here. So I wanted you to see one of these because I may expect you to work one. In real life, we do get fractions and decimals. Things aren't as clean as what you often see in these algebra textbooks. All right, solve 7x plus 3y equals to 5 and 4x plus 5y equals to negative 3. And again, I want to employ an elimination strategy, and we have to decide, do we want to eliminate x or do we want to eliminate y? And honestly, it doesn't matter. It's your choice which variable to pick on to eliminate, but I tend to go with smaller numbers. And so I'm looking at the x's, 7s and 4s, and y's, 3 and 5s. The y coefficients are smaller, so why don't we eliminate the y in this case? All right, now choosing how to eliminate or what to multiply by in order to eliminate is a little bit like trying to find a common denominator with fractions. You know, if you look at 3 and 5, the common denominator is 15, if those were denominators. And so that informs me of how to go about this. I'm going to turn that into a 15, and I'll do that by multiplying the top equation by 5. And the bottom equation I want to turn into actually negative 15 because I want opposite signs in order to cancel. And so I'm going to multiply this equation by negative 3. Now if you happen to have chosen numbers that do not work to eliminate, then it's not such a big deal. You just choose something else later. But we'll see. We'll see what happens here. So when I multiply the top equation by 5, we get 35x plus 15y equals to 25. Second equation becomes negative 12x minus 15y equals to positive 9. And again, don't forget that these numbers also multiply the right side of the equation. All right, so when we add, we'll see again that the variable we chose is going to cancel. 15y, negative 15y cancel one another. So here I've got 35 minus 12. This is 23x equals to 34. And so solve for x, divide by 23, and I've got my first number, x equals to 34/23. So we'll circle it there so we can find it. Okay, well that's a bit ugly, but it can happen. It can happen. So let's assume we did good work here and go ahead and try to find y. So I need to make room by erasing. But please don't erase on your papers when you show me, because I want to see your work. Remember, the more that you communicate to me about what you're doing, then the easier it is for me to give you some partial credit when you need partial credit. All right, I'm going to take x and replace it into one of these equations and solve for y. And I'm thinking I'm going to use the second equation yet again because this has a bigger coefficient, 7. That has only 4. And so I'm going to replace x into the second equation. And this gives me 4 times 34/23 plus 5y equals to negative 3. And here we go again. We have fractions. Well, let's just dive in and do it. 4 times this fraction. 4 is the numerator. So I have 4 times 34 is 136 over 23 plus 5y. And I can see that I'm going to need 23 as a denominator to combine with negative 3. So I'm going to change negative 3 into something over 23. And that would be negative 3 times 23 is negative 69. So to solve for y, I'm going to subtract this number from both sides. 5y equals to negative 69 over 23 minus 136 over 23. Both these are negative numbers over our common denominator. So negative 69 minus 136 is negative 205, I think, over 23. And so let me make a little more room here, and hopefully I haven't made any mistakes. But we'll find out, because I'm going to check this answer. And so if we have 5y equals to negative 205 over 23, how are we going to solve that? We could divide by 5, or we could multiply both sides by 1/5. And so that cancels the 5's on the left side. Y would equal to 1/5 of this fraction, and 5 will cross cancel in the 205. That goes 41 times. Actually negative 41 because of the negative. Alright, so y would be minus 41 over 23. Let me write that up here. Y is negative 41 over 23. Okay, so let's check that answer. And I'm going to erase some of the excess marks here when I go to check it, just to make room. Alright, so check.